Yeah, I just wanted to say one quick word on Kylian Mbappe, by the way, who turns 24 years old in a couple of days. It's worth, knowing the fact that, he's the kind of player, and obviously Messi falls into that, Cristiano Ronaldo, other players in that stature. They don't need to be amazing for 90 minutes. They just need opportunities. And, they may scuff a few of them, but every now and again, you will see absolute magic. And that's exactly what Mbappe did, single-handedly sort of lifting, resuscitating France in that first 90 minutes, and then taking them in the next level. Full credit, by the way, to players like Marcus Thuram, who came in and knew that they had to deliver as well. But Mbappe, by the way, just amazing to just keep France in it. It was remarkable. And to, Ali's point about the best game he's ever seen, I'm not really disagreeing with that. It was just that remarkable because it was just such a beautiful story, up and down and up, dramatic, etc. And Mbappe takes a massive role in this. So yes, he's surely upset, of course, but it's great that we know that we're going to see plenty more of him in the years to come.
And then it continued into extra time, and it was still just as entertaining. Upamecano playing a big part as well in extra time. Lionel Messi, ball goes over the line with 3-2 at this point, but we know there's still time left. And then France get a penalty. Mbappe steps up and takes another penalty and scores it. Ale, like in terms of the two stars in this one, many were wondering if they would make their mark in it, if they would really do so much in this one, or if it was somebody else who would take the headlines. Surely, aside from the fact that it is Argentina winning the World Cup, these two guys are taking the headlines for either side, right?
Yeah, there's so much going on in this game. And let me go back to the Messi goal in the extra time. I thought he was offside. We were all watching it, and I thought that not him, but that Lautaro Martinez, as the ball is played to him, that he was offside. The moment that the assistant referee didn't help in that he was raising his flag, but he's raising his flag because the ball had gone in from Messi, not because he was offside. But in all of that confusion, they show that replay in which you see down the line that Lautaro Martinez is on. And I can tell you, full disclosure, there may have been some running going on in the den that while we were watching the game. My son may have been running around and jumping over tables, and me telling him, you got to calm down, bro. Can I watch the game? You got to calm down, son. All right? So while this is going on, the attitude right away from Argentina, and mind you, we're talking about the 110th, 111th minute, the attitude from Argentina is, we're going to take the ball to the corner. And my first reaction was, this is too early to be going to the corner. No. You got to go on to keep the ball. You got to maintain possession of the ball. You got to keep playing because France still has something in them. And you think about how a game can change somebody's life. Think about Gonzalo Montiel and the fact that it is him who gets called for the handball as he turns his body away from Kylian Mbappe. Now Mbappe ties the game up. And as we go into penalties, and I know I'm jumping the gun here, it is Gonzalo Montiel that scores the winner. Life has a way of presenting opportunities for you, and it's whether you take advantage of those chances or not. And while Gonzalo Montiel may have been carrying a lot of pressure for that penalty because he is the one that by committing the handball takes this into penalties, he's able to deliver. That's yet another story within the story. But as we go back into Kylian Mbappe and being able to step up and take another penalty with all the pressure, he knows full well what's at stake. He knows what's in play here, and he knows he is the right guy to take that responsibility for France, and did it so well. Scores his third goal, hat-trick in the final, and yet he's unhappy.
Well, I mean, anybody's going to be unhappy after this, isn't it? But in terms of the critics, what can they say against him in this final? As you said, Ali, a hat-trick in a final. He'd already scored in the 2018 final. And then to go and do this is just super special from Kylian Mbappe. We already know he's already hit the mark. We already know he's one of the best in the world right now. But this feels like even another level for him, Luis. The fact that at this level, once again, he delivered. He did what he could for his team today.
Absolutely. France had no right to get back into the game with 10 minutes to go in this, regardless of the mistakes by Argentina. They had no right, because also Didier Deschamps had many things wrong for the majority of this game, and it took a few, adjustments specifically in the second to get it going. They had zero right, France, to make it this far. They had zero right to take it to penalties, and yet Kylian Mbappe continued to deliver. It's not just him, because I thought Camavinga was also excellent when he came on. as well, making up for a lot of lost time at the back as well. And also the aforementioned, Thuram as well. And of course, Upamecano, who delivered with 2 fantastic blocks / tackles. But Mbappe, I know he's not happy. He shouldn't be happy because ultimately France didn't win the World Cup. But like I said before, a tremendous individual performance. I mean, the second goal was remarkable, a remarkable finish. And it must have taken so much for him to do that. So, take nothing away from his individual brilliance. Surely, of course, France will be back as well.
You know who is back as well here on the Daily is Mark Ogden. Mark Ogden, have you ever seen anything like that?
It was just an amazing game. I mean, people say, was it the best World Cup final I've ever seen? It was the best final I've ever seen. It was probably the best game I've ever seen. It was just, I mean, it was unbelievable. I mean, everything. It had everything, and it had 2 of the best players in the world absolutely coming up to level. I mean, Mbappe scored a hat-trick and he's finished on the losing side. I mean, that is just the World. You scored a hat-trick in a World Cup final and you finish on the losing side. I mean, that is just indescribable. But Messi, I've watched Messi at times. I'm thinking, oh, he's 35 and he just can't get away from players anymore. And is he going to be able to do it in the final against France? And he did it. And he was really, really trying everything to get that World Cup, to get the goal. The shot that was saved by Lloris, even though he's not got the pace he used to have, he's still got that in him to make the difference. And I mean, seriously, my wife and daughter was watching that game and they don't watch football and they were like screaming at it. That was just such a great game. That's the thing with the World Cup. People that you would never, ever watch. My daughter hates football and she's, loving it. So what a game. I mean, what a game. I just can't stop saying it because it was just, finals are usually really boring. Finals are usually tense and games that everyone's frightened to lose. This was just ridiculous.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to the next World Cup now. How long is it? 3.5 years?
Hey, Augie, here's a question for you. How many times did you press Control-Alt-Delete and have to start rewriting your story once again over and over? Or were you being specifically mindful of how the narrative of this game was going to go?
Listen,
there he is.
on 80 minutes, I was virtually done. 80 minutes thinking, great, nice and easy. I'll dial into the YouTube show and we'll be away. But no, it was a nightmare. So basically, because there's so much on this game, it's like it's messy, isn't it? Has he achieved the Holy Grail? Has he missed out on it? If Messi had lost, he'd never be able to look at the World Cup again. So I couldn't write anything because it was like it's just total contrast. And then you've got Mbappe, hat-trick wins the World Cup, hat-trick loses the World Cup. I mean, so I couldn't write anything until basically the final whistle. And it's like, this is ridiculous. But that is the job, that is why we love the job, because it's on the edge and it's like, it's the drama, it's the madness, and it's the, think about it. If it had gone the other way, I had to write a second separate bit just in case Messi lost, because we've got deadlines, we have to hit them pretty quickly. And it was like, I have to write something to just in case Messi loses. So thankfully I pressed the right button and we sent the right piece, but
Thank you very much for watching ESPN FC on YouTube. For more highlights, analysis and exclusive content, be sure to subscribe.